Well, afternoon. It's almost evening, actually. Um, so I just had something really weird happen. I feel like this is going to be quite the adventure. Um, I didn't know. I can't even fathom. I can't even. I don't even know where to start. So, my Baxter driver called me about 10 minutes ago. And he was like, I'm in town. I have your delivery. I know I'm supposed to be there tomorrow, but is it possible that I come by today? Because I have time. And I was like, sure, why not? One last thing tomorrow, right? So when he comes in, he carries my supply box, which usually has like my lap pads, maybe a couple of other things, like my Alcavis or Ecept, the things that I use to sterilize as I do my exchanges, and my box of caps. And he's like, this is all I have for you today. And I was like, what? And he got really awkward and like soft spoken. And he was like, we don't have any dextrose to deliver for you. Now, imagine my thought process for a second. I've been on dialysis for 4 years, right? So it's not a new idea. I have been trained multiple times for various situations, for all the things you have to be concerned about with dialysis. I do 3 exchanges a day. And so I look at what I have, and I have 5 days worth. Actually, I think I have 6 days worth of dialysis left. Now, I don't know what to do. So I think the look on my face probably said it all, because my driver was like, please call Baxter. Call DaVita. They never called you. That's what he asked me. He's like, they never called you? And I'm like, no. So my driver asked me, did they not call you? And I said, no. No one called me to say anything. And he continues to inform me that it's because of the flooding that has happened in Florida or North Carolina. I don't watch the news. I try to stay away from it and the drama, especially because it's the election year. That's driving me nuts too, to see just the ugliness in people. Anyways, so I called DaVita first because I'm like, I know I'm supposed to call them when the situation arises, but the office is closed. So I called Baxter, and there was a 75-minute wait. So I figured I have like 6 days worth, right? So that's at least 6 days to work with. And today's Thursday, so I can call tomorrow and figure out what happens, because I don't know what happens. This is like a national crisis, apparently. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. I guess mostly because this is a system set up to be trusted, and now that system is gone. But I don't understand why I wasn't informed that this was a system. So now I'm thinking, what do I do? Other than I need to call DaVita and I need to call Baxter and try to figure that out. And try to find answers, because this is ridiculous. Like, I know that things happen, but it's worrisome that nobody is checking in. Now, I don't know how many patients DaVita at Westside has. DaVita in general is a giant company. And they do hemo and PD dialysis patients, right? So they break it down into various different centers. So when I first started, I was on the east side, because I live on the east side. That I followed Beth specifically to west when she moved west, which is about 30 to 45 minutes away from me. There's one in Green Valley. There's one everywhere. There's one in Sierra Vista, so I'm like, you're not counting on one center to tell. It's like every center has their group of people, right? So I'm wondering how many people are being affected at my center. And to me, so I go into like a manager state of mind because I've always managed, and I've managed hundreds of people at the same time. I've managed various departments at the same time. It's a lot of work, but I know how to do it. And I can't imagine that there's such an overwhelming amount of people to contact at one center. And you have multiple nurses. And you have multiple staff. Like, it's all about a list. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's just a misstep. Now, on the other side, I know that I watch a lot of apocalyptic movies. Like, I just got finished watching The Walking Dead, right? And, but my mindset has always been survival, doomsday, like what could you do? How could you survive this? And here I am in this situation where it's like, what's going on? And am I a conspiracy theorist? Absolutely. Absolutely. And when the whole COVID, what I call the spamidemic happened, I saw it. I saw it from day one. The war on masks. The war of the vaccine. Come on. It wasn't hard to predict. And now looking back, come on. So I'm like, what is going on behind the scenes? And I can't possibly be the only one. So I don't know if being the only one who wasn't informed is worse than being the only one that wasn't informed. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's got to be other people who had no idea in the world. Now, what would happen if I didn't even call? Like, what if I don't call tomorrow? They could call me because it's their job. It's their job to take care of me. I am holding up my end. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I'm in like a very dark spot. Because from what I understand, I can go 3 days without dextrose. And then I meet Jesus. I don't even know who to tell. And then there's a part of me that's like, this is ridiculous. There's no way that this should be happening and affecting us. Like, who's in charge of dextrose? Who's in charge of making sure that we have what we need? That's the bigger thing that's really making me curious. But something that I forget about when it comes to dialysis is that stage 5 end-stage renal failure is a big deal. And I don't know. Do I tell my kids? I have to tell Donnie. I have no answers. What does this mean? And why don't I have information ahead of this and about this? So I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm sure it'll work out. I'm sure I'll get the information I need. I'm sure that there is some type of hiccup. I'm sure that, I mean, DaVita has dialysis solution. In fact, I always said, if the end of the world happens, I have to break into that place because I'm going to get my dextrose. Now, anybody who's watched The Walking Dead knows. Now, I'm not a Negan fan, but I am a Negan fan. Because now in this situation, I'm like, no wonder he flipped. Because all he was trying to do was get chemo for his wife who was dying. In an apocalyptic situation. And then I was talking to Donnie, ironically, the other day about what would happen if I was running out of dextrose and I could only use half a bag at a time. Like, how would I disinfect the end that connects so that I could reconnect later to the same bag? Because once you pull that rubber end off, you're contaminated, right? Yeah, just the other day we were talking about it. And now I'm like, do I salvage what I have? Like, you know, or do I go ahead with the 3 exchanges a day and just kind of pretend like there's nothing serious going on? I don't know. So that's where I'm at today. Stay tuned. It's bound to get more interesting.